The Joker is a supervillain appearing in American comic books, published by DC Comics. The character was created by Bill Finger, Bob Kane, and Jerry Robinson, and first appeared in the debut issue of the comic book Batman on April 25, 1940. Credit for the Joker's creation is disputed. Kane and Robinson claimed responsibility for the Joker's design while acknowledging Finger's writing contribution. Although the Joker was planned to be killed off during his initial appearance, he was spared by editorial intervention, allowing the character to endure as the archenemy of the superhero Batman. In his comic book appearances, the Joker is portrayed as a criminal mastermind. Introduced as a psychopath with a warped, sadistic sense of humor, the character became a goofy prankster in the late 1950s in response to regulation by the Comics Code Authority, before returning to his darker roots during the early 1970s, although some of his more comedic characterization was kept for many incarnations of the character. The Joker possesses no superhuman abilities, instead using his expertise in chemical engineering to develop poisonous or lethal concoctions and thematic weaponry, including razor-tipped playing cards, deadly joy buzzers, and acid-spraying lapel flowers. The Joker sometimes works with other Gotham City supervillains, such as the Penguin and Two-Face, and groups like the Injustice Gang and Injustice League. But these relationships often collapse due to the Joker's desire for unbridled chaos. The 1990s introduced a romantic interest for the Joker in his former psychiatrist, Harley Quinn, who became his criminal sidekick and girlfriend before finally escaping their abusive relationship. Although his primary obsession is Batman, the Joker has also fought other heroes, including Superman and Wonder Woman. One of the most iconic characters in popular culture, the Joker has been listed among the greatest comic book villains and fictional characters ever created. The Joker has been adapted in live-action, animated, and video game incarnations, including the 1960s Batman television series played by Cesar Romero and in films by Jack Nicholson in Batman, 1989, Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, 2008, Jared Leto in the DC Extended Universe, 2016 to 2021, and Joaquin Phoenix in Joker, 2019 present. Ledger and Phoenix each earned an Academy Award for their portrayals. Mark Hamill among others have provided the character's voice in media ranging from animation to video games. It is the titular main antagonist in Stephen King's 1986 horror novel It. The character is an ancient, trans-dimensional evil entity who preys upon the children, and sometimes adults, of Derry, Maine, roughly every 27 years, using a variety of powers that include the ability to shapeshift, manipulate reality, and go unnoticed by adults. During the course of the story, it primarily appears in the form of Pennywise the dancing clown. The Losers Club becomes aware of Pennywise's presence because of Bill's little brother, Georgie. King stated in a 2013 interview that he came up with the idea for Pennywise after asking himself what children feared more than anything else in the world, and feeling that the answer was clowns. King thought of a troll like the one in the children's tale, 3 Billy Goats Gruff, though he imagined it living in a sewer system rather than under a bridge. The character was portrayed in its Pennywise form by Tim Curry in the 1990 television adaptation, and by Bill Skarsgård in the 2017 film adaptation and its 2019 sequel It Chapter 2. In the novel, it is a shape-shifting monster who usually takes the form of Pennywise the dancing clown, originating in a void containing and surrounding the universe, a place referred to in the novel as the Macroverse. It arrived on Earth during an asteroid impact and made its home under the land upon which Derry would later be constructed, initially preying on North American tribes. It slept for millions of years, then, when humans appeared in the area, it awoke and began a feeding cycle lasting about a year, feeding on people's fears and frequently assuming the shape of whatever its prey feared the most. After feeding, it would resume hibernation for approximately 30 years before reappearing. It has a preference for children since their fears are easier to interpret and adults are more difficult to frighten while it is in physical form. It can manipulate weak-willed people, making them indifferent to the horrific events that unfold, or even serve as accomplices. Several media outlets such as The Guardian have spoken of the character, ranking it as one of the scariest clowns in film or pop culture. The Atlantic said of the character, "The scariest thing about Pennywise, though, is how he preys on children's deepest fears, manifesting the monsters they're most petrified by, something J.K. Rowling would later emulate with Boggarts." British scholar Makita Brotman has also said of the miniseries version of Pennywise, "One of the most frightening of evil clowns to appear on the small screen, and that it reflects every social and familial horror known to contemporary America." Author Darren Shan cited Pennywise as an inspiration behind the character Mr. Dowling in his 12.5-book serial Zombie. The American punk rock band Pennywise took its name from the character.